Good morning. Today we'll discuss session 2 of module 3. So in this session we are going to discuss about types of damages to the buildings observed during the past earthquake. In this, you can see that this has happened in the year 1993 in the Lathor earthquake. The building is completely demolished. There is nothing left. Only the entire building has reduced into a heap of soil, stones, and wood. We can see here. So here also the same. That there is a complete collapse of the building. And here you can see that house with the lintel band and columns, how it has behaved. In this, you can see that 1 minute. I'll show you with the right. Okay. So here we can see here that there are lintel bands. Lintel bands are provided for the entire building, but during the earthquake the building has not collapsed. It has performed well. Maybe the ground floor has little damaged. Maybe the reason may be the frequency of the earthquake has matched with the ground floor shaking frequency, whereas the first floor we can see that there is no major damage. Only a little cracks we can notice here. The reason may be the frequency of the ground floor building has matched with the frequency of the earthquake, so it has undergone some damages. We can see the cracks at the joints between these cross walls and the shear walls, and we can notice that there is a cracking from the window towards the corner of the building. Here also we can notice there is a uh, crack along the building. So we know that this the house with a little lintel band has performed well. It has not completely collapsed, and this can be retrofit. This building ground floor can be rehabilitated and retrofit. It can be retrofitting can be done to this. And this combination of in-plane and out-of-plane failure. We know that in masonry buildings there are two types of walls. One is shear wall and the other one is cross wall. Shear wall is a wall in which the earthquake forces, the walls which are parallel to the axis of the building, which are parallel to the ground motion, are called as shear walls, and perpendicular to the ground motion is cross wall. So in the shear wall there are two types of stresses can be noticed, that is in-plane bending stresses and in-plane shear stresses. So if the in-plane bending stresses causes the cracks at the corner of the building, whereas shear buildings in in shear buildings, in shear walls, you can notice that there will be a X type of failure in the shear walls. There you can notice that X type of failure starting from the corner of the window, from the window to this point, from window to the corner of the wall. And if the in-plane bending stress also happens, this in-plane bending stress causes separation of the shear wall with a cross wall. Whereas in case of cross wall, here it is in shear wall, the stresses are normal to the bed joints, whereas in cross wall what happens, it will undergo, it behaves like a plate. There will be a bending both along the length as well as along the height. So what happens here is it will tend to move out of plane. It will tend to cross walls tend to move out of plane failure. So the shear wall undergoes in plane failure, whereas cross wall undergoes out of failure. So in this sketch, in this picture, you can notice both the combination of in plane failure as well as out of plane failure. separation of corner columns from the neighboring masonry. So this is also something, it has happened in the shear wall. So if the stresses in the shear wall, yes. So due to this stresses, we can notice that from the window, there is again X type of failure. So this is the shear wall. This wall is a shear wall, right? So in shear wall, there are in-plane shear stresses. So due to this in-plane shear stresses, there is a crack, X type of crack from the corner of the building, from the window to the corner of the building. Here also, what happens, it forms like a X type or a diagonal cracking, and due to this combination of shear stresses and bending stresses, it tries to separate, the shear wall tries to separate from the column of the neighboring masonry. So separation of corner columns from the neighboring masonry. So this picture highlights the in plane shear wall failure, which causes in-plane shear and in-plane bending causes separation of corner columns from the neighboring masonry. Here you can see that a building constructed with stone masonry using a cement mortar as a joining between the stone. They have used cement mortar, and during the Bhuj earthquake, it has performed better compared to masonry buildings and RC buildings and steel structure. The reason may be since the frequency of the earthquake and is lower than the building frequency is lower than the earthquake frequency, and the quality of materials used here, the quality of stone, the quality of the cement mortar is good, hence it has performed good during the Bhuj earthquake. Only we can see minor cracks, and that can be retrofitted. This is out of one more out of plane failure of wall leading to collapse of lintel band in Bhuj earthquake. Here you can see that the lintel band has completely, it has collapsed. So this is out of plane. So this is the shear wall, and this is the cross wall. Here the when the earthquake has happened, it this cross wall is the perpendicular to the ground motion. As it was perpendicular to the ground motion when the earthquake has occurred, so it has behaved like a plate. So there is a bending along the length, length as well as along the length as well as along the height. So along the height, so due to this, what has happened, it could not withstand those earthquake frequency, and the lintel band has damaged. So this shows out of plane failure of wall leading to collapse of lintel band. Next, if there is a roof, is a very heavy roof, you can notice here there is a heavy roofed masonry house. Due to this heavy roof, the building has not performed well during the earthquake. It has collapsed. You can see the cracks everywhere, and there are stone masonry. There is the mortar has come out. There is no link between the. There is no proper connection between the in the wall itself, and you can notice the shear wall as well as it has undergone in plane failure, as well as the other side, the cross wall has completely collapsed. I can show you here. So this is the shear wall. You can notice that there is a crack developing from the window corner. Okay, so this is the shear wall which is parallel to the earthquake ground motion, whereas this is the cross wall. In this wall, it has completely collapsed. It is perpendicular to the ground motion, but the roof is intact. It is a very heavy roof. Due to this heavy roof, the maximum load when the earthquake has happened, the load from the roof, which has to be carried by these two walls. So compared to the walls, the strength of the roof is more. So during earthquake motion, in addition to the ground motion, it has to carry due to this heavy roof, the vulnerability of this masonry house was more, and the cross wall has damaged completely. So this we have already discussed. So this is Haiti earthquake in the year 2010. So this is the below diagram shows the building, the below picture here. The below picture was this was before earthquake. This was how it that the palace was looking before the earthquake. But after the earthquake, you can notice that due to mass irregularity, the building has collapsed like this. There is a heavy roof here, heavy roof here. So due to that heavy roof, when the earthquake has happened, it has collapsed, and there is a irregular mass distribution. That is also a reason for this. So this is a close picture of that. So due to this heavy roof, the lower part has been completely crushed because it has to carry this heavy roof on its uh, floors. So due to that, it has due to irregular mass distribution, vulnerability, you can see that it has collapsed, the building has collapsed. So this is an excellent example of vulnerability of masonry during Haiti earthquake in the year 2010. So what is the lessons that we have learned? What are the summary of types of masonry buildings, the damages and failures? Out of plane collapse, I showed you that cross walls and shear walls. Cross walls usually undergo out of plane. So it is, as since it is perpendicular to the earthquake ground motion, you can notice the out of plane collapse and or shear failure also be observed in the shear walls, and in plane shear failure can happen in the cross walls also due to the out of plane collapse. This happens at the corner joining point of shear wall and cross wall. Then in plane shear and or flexure failure, that is in a shear wall that is parallel to the axis of the ground motion, it will undergo shear stresses as well as bending stresses. So it will undergo in plane failure, and due to the bending there is a separation of the column, separation of the joints, separation of the corners from the shear wall and the cross wall. Next, separation of wall joints, that also we discussed. Then failure of masonry pier in between the openings whenever there is an opening. So the chances of masonry pier of failure are more, especially at the window opening. We can notice that from the window opening to the column, the cracks, diagonal cracks were noticed. So the masonry piers or the columns fail due to these openings, and we also noticed local failures like lintel band failure, then cracks on the surface of the walls, then buckling of widths, buckling of the columns, and separation of the roof from the wall. If the roof is very heavy, it gets separated from the walls. So, and the best example for that is a heavy roofed one house in the previous slide we discussed, as well as in the Haiti earthquake. The roof has separated from the walls, and it has completely crushed the building due to irregular mass distribution. So these are the types of failures that we studied in this session. If you have any queries, please write to us your suggestion about content, tools, format, etc. to lms.dtek@gmail.com. Thank you.